Yo, Scott here with Freedom Flow Empire, and today I'm going to teach you guys exactly how you can wholesale a house and make $10,000 to $15,000 while spending less than $1,000 to find this property and make that $10,000 to $15,000. Now, here at Freedom Flow, if you guys aren't aware, we help maximize your income potential through having a high value skill with sales, and then show you how to build wealth and ultimately achieve your time and financial freedom through building a systematic business and creating passive income. And today this video is actually going to focus on building that passive income by giving you access to deals that nobody else has, because you're going to find it yourself for under $1,000, and then you're going to turn this and flip it into even more money, which then you can use to invest in your business, invest in yourself, and work on building your passive investing portfolio. So if you're interested in this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Take 1 second, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you can stay notified when we release more content like this. So look, before I begin, it's gonna take me about 5 to 10 minutes to get through. So if you don't have 5 to 10 minutes to sit there, stay focused, and learn how we can help you get off-market deals that nobody else has access to, that you can build your wealth, build your empire, and create passive income, and create passive cash flow for yourself, then just go ahead and watch a cat video, because this isn't for you, and you're probably gonna make the same mistake that makes other people stay in the 9-to-5 grind. So if this video appeals to you, let's dive right on in. So the first way that you want to find off-market real estate deals is by actually using Craigslist. And I know this sounds crazy, because I know a lot of people want to get on Craigslist to search for, used clothing or used electronics, etc. They don't really see it as a mean of finding real estate deals. But this is actually something that not a lot of people utilize. But we're not just going to be looking for any real estate deal that's just sitting on Craigslist. What we're actually going to be looking for is we're looking for properties that are for rent. And let me explain and break this down for you. The reason why we want to look for properties that are for rent is because typically the kind of people who post a property for rent on Craigslist is a mom and pop landlord. So typically the owner is managing this real estate rental property. If it's vacant, they're going to obviously be listing it for rent on various sites. And a lot of mom and pop landlords will actually post it on Craigslist, where a lot of professional managers utilize other sites that are better and find qualified renters. So the reason why we want to look on Craigslist as well is because if we know that this landlord's property is vacant and that they need a renter to get in there and make the money, then there could be some problem with the property, and there could be a reason why there's not somebody living there currently. It could need some rehab work. It could just be mismanaged. Like the mom and pop landlord just might not know how to manage a property effectively. Maybe they inherited it and now they're forced to be a landlord and they just have no idea what to do. So they go to Craigslist because that's the one thing that they think they can do to find a renter. And if you happen to find them at the right time, they might have a pain point of not being able to pay off their mortgage or not being able to make the income from a renter, where if you reach out to them at the right time, they might be willing to sell to you at a discount off market. So what you want to do is you want to go on Craigslist and you want to search properties for rent in the areas that you'd like to purchase. And when you do that, typically the landlord is going to have the description, it's going to have property pictures, etc. And what you're going to do is you're going to hit contact down at the bottom of the page. Typically you can either send an email, or some landlords will give a phone number that you can call directly. If they give you the phone number, you want to call the phone number, and you're basically going to say this. You're basically going to say, I noticed that your property is for rent. I'm actually a cash buyer in the area. Are you interested in the cash offer? And then just shut up and just hear what they have to say. You're going to get one of two responses. You're either going to get, oh no, I'm fine. I'm not even interested in selling. Or you're going to get, you know what? I think I would, I might actually be interested in the cash offer. When you get that response, you know that you're in the negotiation phase at that point. You know that you've got an interest, they're willing to sell their property. Now you can go back and do the analysis and see, how much can you pay for the property and get it under contract. That way you can get it to a cash buyer and, wholesale it for $10,000 to $15,000 just like that. That's the first, and it's the easiest way to look for property. You don't even have to get up out of your chair. You can just be on your computer, make the phone call from your chair, and that's a very simple way, and it's completely free to try to find off-market real estate deals. Now the second one we want to talk about is called for sale by owner, otherwise known as FSBO, FSBO. And what this is is, again, it's another free and completely online way to try to find properties that are distressed, or the homeowner just no longer wants and is willing to sell it at a discount. Now, what for sale by owner means is the owner of the property is actually trying to sell the house, but they list it not with the realtor, but they try to list it themselves to see if anybody's interested in buying their property, because they typically just don't want to pay the real estate, the realtor commissions. And you're going to have a percentage of people who aren't distressed or motivated to sell, but they just want to see what kind of offers they'll get, and they're not really, they're not going to accept anything under a discounted price. Or you're going to have the people who just don't know anybody who would buy their house for cash, and they really just don't want to use a realtor. Maybe the property isn't in good condition and needs fixed up. They don't have the $20,000 it'll take to actually list it with the realtor, and they're desperate, so they list it themselves for sale by owner. And sometimes this is a cry for help. So if you go in there and you find these for sale by owner listings, which you can find by, one, you can go to Zillow, and you can search your area, you can search by city or zip code, and then if you click on the filters button, you can actually mark the box that says for sale by owner and only look at these deals. What's going to happen is each property listing is going to have the owner's contact information. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to reach out. And typically with these listings, it's going to have it's going to have a number that they want to sell it for. But this does not always mean it's the number that they're actually going to sell it for. They just have to put a number in order for it to be posted on Zillow. What a lot of people do is, you're familiar with the Zillow's estimate. A lot of these people will just take the Zillow's estimate number and they'll just choose that by default. But that doesn't mean they're going to sell it for that price. They just don't know any better. So you're going to find these properties, and the contact number that's listed on these properties is going to be the owner's contact information. So reach out to them and say, hey, I see your property at 123 Main Street, and I'm a cash buyer in the area. I was wondering if you'd be interested in an offer. I can't pay you what you have listed, but will you entertain another offer? And again, you'll get one or two answers. Oh no, I'm selling this by myself. I'm not taking anything under this number. Or you're going to get the person who actually is motivated. Maybe it's the distressed property, and they're going to say, yeah, I've been looking for somebody to buy my house for the past 2 weeks, and I just didn't know what to do. And you then begin the conversation, and you can negotiate a cheaper price and get this off market. Now, these are 2 free ways that you can do without having to leave your computer. This third way is a more targeted way. It's going to take a little bit more of your time, but you can really, really find targeted distressed properties. And this way is called driving for dollars. What you're going to do is you're going to drive around areas that you would like to invest in, and you're going to look for signs of distressed properties. This is the sign that you want to look for. You want to look for overgrown grass. You want to look for trash in the yard. You want to look for doors and windows that are boarded up. You want to look for a roof that's just completely destroyed and just nasty looking. You just want to look for signs that the property is distressed. And once you do this, you're going to write down the address. You're going to go back and you're going to go to your county's auditor website. You're going to type in this address, and it's going to pull up the owner's contact information. It's going to pull up their mailing address. And what you can do is you can use what's called a skip tracing software. We recommend Skip Genie, and you can type in the property information, and this skip tracing software will actually give you that owner's phone number. So there's 2 things you can do. You can either find the owner's mailing address and mail them a piece of direct mail saying that you want to buy their property, or 2, use the number that you got from the skip tracing software and give the owner a call directly and said, hey, I was driving in the area and I noticed that, grass was overgrown, roof shingles were falling off, etc. When's the last time you've been to the property? And then if they're like, oh, I haven't been there for 2-3 years. I thought everything was fine. You're like, no, and you maybe can send them pictures and say, hey, look, I'm a cash buyer in the area. I'm an investor. I'd like to buy your property. Are you interested in an offer? And again, you can start the conversation again. And it's just a great way to get an off-market deal. And I'm not saying, every time you contact somebody, every time you drive by a property, it's going to lead into a deal. No, you might do this 100 times to only get one property, but it's going to cost you relatively nothing. It's really just going to cost you your time to go out there and hustle But in the end, if it gets you $10,000 to $15,000, that'll only get you that much closer to financial freedom. And now you can afford to spend more money and do, better means of direct mail in the future. So if you like these tips, if you now understand that it doesn't take all this money to be a great real estate investor and make a bunch of money. It really doesn't. It just needs effort and time. And hopefully by utilizing these tips, you can go out there and make a lot of money doing this. So again, if you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe right now, like the video, hit the notification bell, and before you go, make sure you join our free Facebook group by clicking the link in the description, because you get to talk with me one-on-one. You get to talk with a community of like-minded people trying to build financial freedom and build an empire. And you get direct access to us and direct access to me. You can ask me questions and I'll answer them personally one-on-one. So if you want to be a part of this amazing community, hit that description down below, join the Facebook group, and I'll see you next week.